Hey friends, today's video is going to be all about how I'm gonna meal prep this week. This week is my first week back at work after being off for the whole summer. So basically I just wanted to prep a bunch of things today so that mealtime is really easy for me this week and I don't have to really think about it. Also, I wanted to show you guys a few recipes, so it kind of works out perfectly. Today I'm gonna be making a loaf of bread, which I don't know if you can see in the background. Just gonna shape it this morning and bake it. I'm going to be making chicken salad to keep in the fridge for both Sam and I. I'm going to be making blueberry corn muffins as a quick, easy, either breakfast, snack, something that I can take to work with me. And then I'm also going to be making Unbaked Bars, which I was talking about in, I think it was a grocery haul. I am gonna make Unbaked Bars, so you guys will get that recipe today. And let's just get on into it. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is my bread. So my oven is already preheated. If you wanna know how I make my sandwich bread, I will link that video right here. It is a sourdough. I'm gonna go ahead and get going with my shaping and baking. Okay, so now that's going to rest for 30 minutes. While that is proofing, I'm going to go ahead and get started on my chicken salad. Okay, so to poach the chicken, I just filled a little pot with water, put the chicken in there, and set the temperature on high. And then I'm gonna add in some peppercorns, some crushed rosemary, and some onion salt. This one is from Redmond. I'll leave my code for Redmond right here. And then I'm gonna bring that to a boil and let it go for probably like 20 minutes. Okay, so I have my chicken going, I have my bread proofing, and now it is time to make the unbaked bars. So I'm gonna put both recipes down in the description box. The first one is the classic version, which includes Karo Syrup and regular sugar. I'm also gonna have the one that I'm making today and the one that I made last time, which is no refined sugar. So I'm using maple syrup instead of Karo syrup and coconut sugar instead of regular sugar. First thing we need to do is crush up some cornflakes. I just have the Aldi brand of cornflakes today because I mean, we don't buy cereal very often, so I think I maybe forget how much cereal costs. But when I bought like the name brand, it's probably Kellogg cornflakes, last time they were like $4, and it was like, what the heck? The ones at Aldi are like $1.50 or something crazy like that. So I went with the off-brand today. I'm sure they taste exactly the same. They're probably even the same company. Like, it's probably just repackaged, if we're being completely honest. So we need 6 cups of cornflakes. I have these bags that I got at Target, just reusable, freezer-friendly gallon plastic bags. So these come in handy for when I want to freeze bread and also when I want to crush cornflakes. So we need 6 cups of cornflakes. We got these new beds for the dogs, and they have like a little hood on them. I'll insert a clip right here. They have like a little hood on them, and Mabel and Rudy love their new beds. Rudy does not like going under the little cover, but Mabel does like being under it, but she doesn't know how to get under it, so sometimes you have to help them. But it is very adorable. And I actually got those at Five Below. They were only $5, and I just thought it was such a steal. But anyways, back to the Unbake Bars. The other great thing about these bags is that they stand up, which is really, really handy. Also, this is a fun thing to make if you have kids because they get to crush the cereal, and that's just fun for kids. Cornflakes have been crushed. Now it's time to get our syrup, sugar, and peanut butter mixture going. I need 2 cups of peanut butter, which is 480 grams. I'm assuming it's gonna be this whole jar, which is fine. I'm gonna show you our peanut butter trick. So if you buy natural peanut butter, you know the struggle of all of the oil being on top and not mixed together. So the way that we solve this, and Rudy just got off the couch because he knows what happens after I mix the peanut butter. He gets to lick the mixer. So I mix it with my little hand mixer, and I think these are like technically dough hooks, but they work really well for this. So I mix this together, and then if I wasn't gonna use this whole thing, I would just stick it immediately in the fridge, and then you don't have to mix it again. For some reason it stays like mixed together, as opposed to if you put it back in the cabinet, the oil might rise to the top again. So I feel like I didn't explain that very well, but you probably understand what I'm trying to say. And then the peanut butter is perfectly mixed. Okay, so using this whole jar of peanut butter, I'm a little short. I have 440 grams instead of 480, but I'm just gonna roll with it because I feel like it's gonna be fine. Now to the peanut butter, I'm going to add 1 cup of coconut sugar. And 1.5 cups of maple syrup. Okay, now I'm gonna heat this up in the microwave, starting at a minute, and I'm gonna whisk every minute in between, just so I can see that the sugar has melted and it's come together. Okay, so now that this is all nice and warmed together, I actually did forget I wanted to add a little bit of salt. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add some Redmond real salt. Because I find that adding salt to sweet things really balances them and brings out the sweetness without making it kind of like toothache-y sweet. I'm gonna go ahead and add in my crushed up cornflakes. Now, while the Unbaked Bars cool down for a second, before I add the chocolate on top, I'm gonna go ahead and score my sourdough loaf and get it in the oven. Been really enjoying doing these little stars on my loaves lately. So I just go. I don't know what the last thing my camera got was because it seems to be experiencing some technical difficulties, but I just started scoring these little decorative stars on the side of my loaf. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do one big release score here. My kitchen is kind of a wreck. So I'm gonna quickly just do a little tidy up and clean off the utensils that I need to make my muffins. And then we will get back to the Unbaked Bars. Okay, I feel a little bit better about the state of my kitchen now. So let's melt some chocolate for the top of the Unbaked Bars, and then this will be a check off the list. So we need 2 cups of chocolate chips. I'm using these. I was going to use Lily's chocolate chips, which are sweetened with stevia, to keep with like the no refined sugar thing. These do have refined sugar, so I guess that was kind of a lie, but they are allergen free, they're dairy free. It's just cane sugar, unsweetened chocolate, and cocoa butter. So these are like, I really don't even like the term like clean when it comes to food, but these are like the most minimal ingredient chocolate chips I feel like I can find. So we are gonna use these. Not that I have to, you know, validate myself, but these are the chocolate chips I'm gonna use. And then I think I'm actually going to add some coconut oil to the mixture of the chocolate because I'm hoping that it'll give it like a little bit more of a softness, so it's not like so firm chocolate on top. But we'll see. I feel like it couldn't hurt. That being said, if you don't have coconut oil and you don't want to buy it like separate just for this recipe, feel free to leave it out. I'm just kind of experimenting. Okay, so if you do buy these chocolate chips, the whole bag. Spoonful of coconut oil, and then I'm gonna melt this in the microwave until it's all melted. I'm gonna start at a minute. So now these are gonna go into the fridge to set up a little bit, and I'm going to work on the chicken salad. Okay, so I'm back. I've got my poached chicken in here. Back with my trusty dusty hand mixer. I'm going to shred the chicken with this. Sounds crazy, but it works. And it saves a lot of time and effort when it comes to shredding chicken by hand or with forks. So, okay. So the chicken is all shredded. Also, I forgot to say at the beginning, if you don't want to bother with poaching the chicken yourself, you could also always just use like a rotisserie chicken or even canned chicken. I've never used canned chicken before, but I know that that's popular for making chicken salad. You could also make this with chickpeas. That's my bread. And make it kind of like a chickpea salad. So I'm gonna take my bread out of the oven. So for the chicken salad dressing, I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons of mayo and 2 tablespoons of Greek yogurt. And I'm gonna do a half a teaspoon of Redmond salt, a bunch of cracks of black pepper. I'm gonna start with a teaspoon of dry dill and 2 tablespoons of pickle juice. And mix that up. Okay, so my camera died, so I took the opportunity to go get ready for the day really quick while my camera charged. And now it's time to get back into the chicken salad. So I'm gonna go ahead and now chop up some green onions and some celery to add into the chicken salad, and then I'll mix it all together and that'll be all set. I really like celery in chicken salad, so I'm gonna add, I'm gonna say 3 ribs. 3 ribs of celery. And of course, if you don't like celery, you can take that out. Also, if you wanted to add some almonds or sunflower seeds would be really good. Make it how you like it. Actually, I think I'm gonna call that good on celery. So 2 ribs of celery instead of 3. And then I'm going to have some green onions here that I'm actually gonna replace with these ones. But before I do that, because they're on their last leg, but before I do that, I'm just gonna use the rest of what's good from this batch. Okay, we are on the last thing. So the last thing that I'm gonna make today is some blueberry corn muffins, and the recipe that I'm using is from Smitten Kitchen, and these are her perfect corn muffins. And the only thing I'm doing differently is adding some blueberries. So I will link this recipe down below. I'm just gonna go ahead and make these, and then we will be done. Something I love so much about Deb from Smitten Kitchen is that all of her recipes are in like cup measurements and gram measurements. That's something that I've mentioned a few times on my channel. I tend to favor chefs and recipe developers that put both because it makes it easier for me, someone who has and uses a scale regularly, to just whip it all together. I'm actually just gonna go ahead and use the rest of this. I hope this uses the rest. I've had this flour since maybe like April of 2020, so over a year, because I bought this in hopes that it would be okay for my sourdough baking when I was first starting out, and there was a giant flour shortage, I think all over the country, but specifically it was definitely in my area of North Carolina, and I couldn't find any flour anywhere. So I bought this flour, which unfortunately is not good for sourdough because it's enriched and bleached. But I kept it and I've used it every once in a while for like random recipes, and this is gonna be one of those days, and I really hope I can use up the rest of this because it's been sitting on my shelf for many moons. Okay, well, my camera cut out again, so I don't really know what's going on there, but I've got the muffin mixture almost all mixed together, and my oven is set to 425. So we are in the home stretch. Just gonna toss in some blueberries, maybe 2 cups of blueberries. Call it 1.5. So I am using Smitten Kitchen's perfect corn muffin recipe, except I left out the sugar. I used Greek yogurt instead of sour cream, and I think that's the only things that I did differently. I also don't have cupcake liners, but I am going to take a risk because there's a whole stick of butter in this batter. I think they will be okay. This is a non-stick like muffin tin anyways, so I'm just gonna test my luck and hope that they don't stick. This is a number 16 scoop. I will try to remember to link all this stuff in the description box below if you are curious.
ready?
Okay guys, so here is everything that I made this morning to prepare for this week. Everything will be linked or written down below. And I hope this gave you some good inspiration for how to prepare for your week and set yourself up for success. You know, it's always good to do things that your future self will thank you for. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Okay, after hours. I just realized that I haven't even attempted to get these out of the muffin tin yet, so I don't know if I was lucky after all. So if you're still watching this video, you will get to see, did it work? Or should I have greased the muffin tin? Well, it didn't stick super bad, but it did stick a little bit. But the good news is it tastes really good. So, a little bit of stickage, but that's okay.